You're watching the USL on CBS Sports, presented by Best Western. Las Vegas, Nevada, city of chance, city of shows, and there's a chance you're in for a show tonight as the Las Vegas Lights welcome Orange County. Two teams right now in a very tight Western Conference in the USL Championship. A win for Orange County would bring them into first place at the end of the weekend, while Las Vegas can do some climbing into fifth in their own right. And we are happy to have you with us on CBS Sports. Alongside the ex-Sherman Pro, Devin Kerr, I'm Joe Malfa. Devin, we say it every year, this league continues to progress. The margins get tighter. These two teams feeling it right now in the West, but they're trending in the right direction.
3 points separating the final home playoff spot in the Western Conference and missing the playoffs altogether. I've never seen anything like it in championship play. But all the more reason why you should lean into who you are instead of speculating as to what could be. So if I'm an Orange County supporter right now, I'm looking at this group and what they can do on the attacking end of the football. Defensively, there's balance, but it's about more aggression into the final third. They have big names that can get the job done, but they've struggled tactically. Their relationships have struggled due to lack of communication. More importantly, they've had health issues all season long. And that's where I want to start right now, because they've got Usman Silla coming back. Talent-wise, this is one of the most electrifying players in all of championship play. And that's because of what he can do both on and off the ball. Put the ball at his feet, I'd make an argument he's faster. He's creative. He's got great vision, and his inventiveness in tight-knit situations is why he can separate himself and push in to an MVP-type candidate. That's what this kid is capable of going forward. In order to do that, though, he's got to be more selfish. The spectacular that he creates from afar has to become more plenty if Orange County want to make a run at this thing.
On the other side for Vegas, it's less about an individual and more about a collective. That's why you take us ahead of the curve.
They've always been about ball retention under Devin Rensing since coming in last season. But a change in personnel has enabled them to simplify the game. They've dumbed it down, plain and simple. Open it up, play direct. They have speed going up top. They have the willingness to push through those tough defensive moments and then throw everything but the kitchen sink going forward in transition. Las Vegas in transition has become an absolute nightmare for opposing back lines. Now, the key question for them is going to be, can they stabilize on the defensive front? Yes, they too, just like Orange County, want to find balance. But for Las Vegas to truly become a threat in the Western Conference, this needs to be 2, 3, and 4 goal games. Finding the back of the net isn't the problem. It's the amount of times they can tickle the nylon over the course of 90 minutes.
Second time these teams are meeting this season. They met on opening day to a 1-1 draw. So much has changed since then. Both teams markedly better than they were when things started. It's Orange County and Las Vegas from the desert next on CBS Sports Network. Kings have taken the field here in Las Vegas. An absolute scorcher this evening. Temperatures just below triple digits. Las Vegas welcoming Orange County, and let's meet the starting 11s for both these sides, beginning with the home team, Las Vegas.
Devin Rensing's 4-4-2-ish has some subtle tweaks within the system as the season has gone on. Most notably, Oleg Sanderson, his ability to step onto that front line, and the playmaking ability that is energetic in nature by Christian Pinzon. I want to watch Pinzon tonight start to cut in front of Scott and Ibarra. Those two defensively will lock down the interior locations, but making sure they create strength in numbers coming forward is important, especially with Pinzon on that right-hand side, matched up against Nicola Chota on the left back position for Orange County. Danny Stone has gone with a single pivot 4-3-3. I don't mind it because of the playmaking ability of Usman Silla and Stephen Kelly. I am watching the outside backs. Grayson Duty still making his way back from his ACL injury about a year ago. And Chota, as mentioned, just 19 years of age, gets his first league start on that back line.
Las Vegas from left to right in their burgundy, Orange County right to left in the blue. As mentioned, scorcher this evening, 99 degrees, slight breeze. The breeze doesn't really help when it's that hot. No humidity, that's a plus. In the desert, you don't expect it, but there is the expectation we'll have the hydration break in this first half. It's Las Vegas, it's Orange County. Referee Gerald Flores holding the whistle will send us on our way. Meaning for the second time this season, 1-1 draw on opening day. What do we have in store here tonight? It's Las Vegas and Orange County. Right away, as we're seeing around the world, employed more and more often, just kicking it down off the kickoff. And sure enough, as you mentioned, it ends up right in the hands of Nicola Chota. 19-year-old making his first league start, and a giveaway from Orange County. Tubbs heads it along. And a foul called against Mark Ibarra, the midfielder, in his first year with Vegas. Spent the last 2 years in Rhode Island, helped them to the final in 2024 and the Eastern Conference final in 2025.
As much as we talk about what could be on the attacking end for Orange County, that has to come from an area of consistency that will be the midfield for Las Vegas Lights. Mark Ibarra and Kyle Scott being able to close things down, really put pressure on guys like Usman Silla, Stephen Kelly, and Nico Benalcazar. Over the course of the season, head coach Danny Stone from Orange County has chased a wide variety of tactical looks. Much more discipline within the midfield for the Lights.
Duty back for the captain, Tom Brewitt. One of the bright spots this season for Orange County has been that triangle out the back of Garrison Tubbs, Tom Brewitt, and the goalkeeper Alex Rando. 3 experienced players, more than holding down the fort. Only 11 goals conceded, 5 clean sheets for Orange County. Alcazar had it deflected away. Arteaga working it back. A lot of blue jerseys going forward, threaded through, flag stays down. Chance from a long way out for Chris Hagar, blocked. Alcazar brought down, free kick, dangerous area for an Orange County side. It has a number of big targets you could look for. Yanni Bazzini, Tom Brewitt, Garrison Tubbs no doubt come up. Set up by Stephen Kelly. Player that Orange County brought in after they had sent away Kyle Scott, who suits up tonight on the other side for Las Vegas. More on that as the night goes along. He brought in last June from Scotland's second tier. From the free kick, easily cleared. Tanaglu. Alexanderson. Challenge put in from Grayson Duty to win it back. Numbers still forward for Orange County. Ben Alcazar thinking about it, but Alcazar feeding it along for Hagart. Floats it over the top. Bodies are there in blue. Bounding around, headed toward goal, and wide off the head of Liam McKinnon.
That's a good build overall from Orange County. Unfortunately, they hit the top of the 18 and everybody hits the skids. This has been what has plagued them all season long. Defensively stout. As you push forward, this doesn't need to be 5 touches to make its way to the near touchline. Touch one, play it. And instead, the slight hesitation really causes some frustration by Chris Hagart as to whether or not he should be trying to pick out a runner on the back post or hit it first time. Causes indecision, and then all of a sudden, it's this domino effect where nobody on the attacking end of the football for Orange County is willing to step up and play through.
Duty battling Alexanderson. Tubbs clears. Another free kick in the early going. Could expect it to be physical between these two. Not necessarily bitter rivals, but two teams that have played in some big games over the years in the Western Conference. 23rd meeting all time, 11-6 with 5 draws in favor of Orange County. Vegas finalists in the Western Conference in 2024. Orange County, the champions, putting a star above that crest in 2021. Back to Rando. Brewitt. Here's Stephen Kelly. So it was last summer, June 25th, he was officially signed from Scotland's second tier. It was on the heels of Kyle Scott wearing the number 8 tonight for Las Vegas, being sold to England to Crawley Town. Kelly was Scott's replacement. And now a year later, Scott comes back to the USL Championship. Big signing for Vegas in the offseason. They will be matched up with each other in the midfield this evening. Hagart threaded through for Silla. Usman Silla. First glimpse at what he could do with the ball at his feet. Threaded through for Hagart. Flashes one across. Bazzini back for duty. It's twice that Hagart has looked across instead of at goal. Anderson. Defended by Duty. Alexanderson, the veteran, is out for a throw.
You mentioned Hagart and trying to cut it back across. I actually think that he might have been confused as to his surroundings with how much tempo he put behind it.
Chris Hagart has been terrific for Orange County, a goal and 4 assists. Their creator in the midfield. Gets into the dangerous areas. Kyle Scott. Tanaglu delivering. Falls for Johnny Rodriguez and pouncing to it, Alex Rando.
Back-to-back sequences for each team where it's a beautiful run by Hagart, working inside out, ball coming back across, and still can't figure out as to whether or not he was trying to play that square or actually go for goal. Either way, really well done defensively. This is where Vegas have to up-tempo even further. We're willing to stick that ball down in the corner. They had numbers, and instead, as they slowed, it allowed Orange County to get back behind the ball.
Pope. Zone. Talk more about Blake Pope tonight. Bottom of your screen wearing 45. Player who's stepped up. Injuries have opened the door. 23-year-old from Prosper, Texas. Stepped in, now making his 7th start for Vegas. Jones. Here's Pope as his head coach Devin Rensing looks on. And Rensing said he's the player he's most been surprised with in a positive way, impressed with. That's the way he put it. The way he's taken to this role and emerged as a key piece for Las Vegas. Pope again, eyeing his options. Scott. Antonoglu. Delivering Antonoglu, headed clear by Brewitt. Active early on. Antonoglu, his first year with Vegas, coming over from Valor FC in the Canadian Premier League. He was best 11 in 2024. Before that, spent about a decade in the organization with Toronto FC between the academy and the different levels of their player pathway. So many guys like that, it feels like now, 23 to 25 years old, who are looking for that opportunity, and once they find the right one, they take off. It feels like Vegas could be that spot for Antonoglu.
It feels like the competitive side, it took him a bit by surprise, and that's not to say he wasn't competing in the CPL, but the physical demand that came along with championship play pushed him back a little bit, rattled his confidence, and it's taken a bit of time for him in a Lights jersey to really get a footing.
Mason Steinahar in goal, making his fourth start. Officially joined on loan back on May 12th, a little over a month ago for the rest of the season from Real Salt Lake. The life of a goalkeeper, so few spots, always tough to find a way. Steinahar has always shown well when given the opportunity, but stuck behind a legend like Pedro Gallese in Orlando. Opportunities have been few and far between. Lights feel like maybe they have their goalkeeper the rest of the season now.
He's full of a ton of confidence, demands a lot of himself and other players as well. He's very reflective, Mason Steinahar, the goalkeeper for the Lights, and within that demand, trying to find a way to get better. So what can I do? How can I affect the back line? Who needs me to be more verbal? He's given the group a ton of confidence and a calming presence back there that has funneled over into that back four.
Part of that reflective nature, diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma November of 2017, returned to play in June of 18. Cancer did not get in his way of his pro career. Almost a decade now in the rear view. Anderson. This is Orange County's game in hand on San Antonio. The win tonight, Orange County jumps into first place. Vegas, a win based on the tiebreakers, could bring them into fifth at the end of the night. A lot of climbing to be done. Anderson delivering one through. Rodriguez tried to touch it around Rando, but out of play.
And that's a tough one for Johnny Rodriguez. Number one, keeping himself in an onside position, and then number two, because of the tight area that he had to work with, how does he find an explosion over that back shoulder run to get in front of one defender, break in behind another, and the goalkeeper coming over the right side? You know, the relationship that just continues to get better with Alex Anderson on the outside. That's where Anderson peeks his head up, dink one on a cutback. You know, working against the grain of that back line that's already defending negative to the right shoulder. Johnny Rodriguez recognizing, stepping into the space and being able to attack it head on instead of coming from behind.
Anderson. See what he could do this time. Anderson drops it back. Arteaga out of his orbit. Well, Arteaga hasn't scored yet this season. Hasn't picked up where he left off last year. Coming over from the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Last season had 9 goals, 5 in the last 7 games. Still without one in the regular season this season. Pinzon. Pinzon has picked up. Injuries cost him last year. What can he do with a full season? Injury ended his season in June last year. Only 1 goal in 12 games. So as of today, he's already played more games this season than last season. Christian Pinzon has 2 goals and 4 assists to his name.
He's just 2 assists away from becoming the Lights' all-time leader in that department. Nice touch there.
Hagart. Usman Silla hasn't really seen much of the ball, quarter of an hour in. Player who doesn't need much though. Sliver of an opportunity, he'll take more. Jones along. Tanaglu, let it go. Duty cuts it off.
Already responsive in nature, Orange County on the road. They've pulled Stephen Kelly deeper. It's not uncharacteristic for Orange County to play with a double pivot, but with Usman Silla, who likes to fluctuate off the left. He is a natural 10, but he likes to pinch off into this gray area over on the left-hand flank and then start to challenge back to the inside. Bringing Stephen Kelly higher will benefit them more, but they're worried about a smart movement by two false nines and Rodriguez and Arteaga. So comfortable down in the pocket. Good work right by the duo.
You saw Chota defending 1v1 against Johnny Rodriguez. So far looks comfortable, the 19-year-old. Ken Vegas continue to put him in uncomfortable positions. First regular season start. He's seen minutes in USL Cup. He's seen minutes in Open Cup as a starter. But not until tonight as a regular season starter in 2026. Hagar with space. The run coming from McKinnon. Great challenge put in by Blake Pope to win it. Pope. Experience for a 23-year-old, over 100 games played between North Texas and Portland Timbers 2. Scott rolls it along. Ibarra carries it ahead. Free kick for Vegas.
A lot of chasing off the ball right now for Orange County, and one of the main reasons is the work rate defensively. Really every player wearing a Lights uniform. The addition of Blake Pope, come over from the Timbers organization. Work rate is certainly something that comes to mind. The intensity that comes along with it. The ability to get both of the outside backs into the attack. Temi Antonoglu and Blake Pope for Las Vegas Lights, very important. Something they really haven't had all season long consistently because of all the injuries. And 9 different players who have occupied one of those exterior defending positions that have prohibited them from getting in.
That was ambitious from Arteaga. For a player who hasn't scored yet this year, he's not short on confidence, that's for sure. Zone. Muscling Johnny Rodriguez, shielding off Chota, and Chota wins the battle again. Rodriguez was looking for a foul call, didn't get it. Pruitt. Alcazar has been a piece moved around the chessboard by Danny Stone this year because of injuries. It is a more natural, comfortable position tonight in the midfield. Helps spring this forward. Haggard again has the overlap from Chota, uses it. Nicola Chota feeds it across. Usman Silla saved! Mason Steinahar robs Usman Silla out for a corner.
Everybody tap your hands.
And the brilliance of Usman Silla on full display once again. Should have hit it first time. But you can't deny greatness. Really nice ball movement from Orange County. Looked like the window had escaped them on the slow ball to the near touchline, but instead, quality service by Chota right at the penalty mark. Doesn't catch it as clean as he would like, the way that he cuts back across it. And that is an impressive save from that distance by Steidehar. Still a ton of work to be done, and he does it well.
From the corner, the header, Steidehar snatches it. Problem solved. That's your first glimpse at what Silla can do. Give him any little bit of space, and he's going to turn it into a chance.
That's also the type of opportunity that 4 or 5 games from now easily hits the back of the net. You and I have seen him at a wide variety of levels. Certainly saw him tear Division I college soccer apart in moments exactly like that.
In zone. Shota again, physical, gets away with it. Arteaga back. To your point on Silla, 24 goals, 24 assists in his time at Clemson, 2-time national champion. Second round pick by the Houston Dynamo in 2024. Never did appear for Houston's first team. He's a regular at MLS Next Pro and made a habit of scoring and assisting. Felt the breakout was coming last year for Silla with Orange County, but that's just been the tale for other players this year, and to some extent for Silla, health a question.
Yeah, massive.
In and out last year. Olex Anderson driving forward. Anderson, one touch too many. Opening up this game, Grayson Duty down a little bit too easy for referee Gerald Flores. As soon as he felt the contact, down in a heap. One back though by Silla. Hagart. Bazzini, Hagart. McKinnon's calling for it. Center of the box, Silla with it. Back to Hagart. Just Hagart to the end line toward goal. Steidehar had to reach back for it, but has it. Danny Stone feels like he has the pieces in Orange County. It's just been a puzzle solving things with injuries, and maybe another one to contend with now. On the far side of the field, Grayson Duty has still not gotten up. And they just called for the trainers to come out there. He is in quite a bit of pain.
I would be holding my breath, given everything that that young man has been through.
The referee just gestured that it's his arm. His right arm is what the referee just signaled over to the bench. So watch as he lands right there.
It looked like he pulled up lane even before that, though, which is a bigger concern for me.
He is feeling at the right hip area.
Yeah.
Double whammy, maybe. The referee gestured to the trainer that it was his arm. And he's favoring, you can see that he's favoring the right arm as he just leans it on his body, plus the leg being looked at. For a player who this year has been limited to 6 appearances and 2 starts because of injury, so the last thing you want to see if you're Danny Stone.
We've got Mateo Bunbury, who's been utilized over there. Of course, the departure of Pedro Guimaraes to Germany. And I'm just going to go in the outside back position, not right side specific, because Grayson Duty can play both. Ryan Dogman, Chota, who's on the field of play as well. Nico Benalcazar has been used out there. And that's just in a starting capacity.
And you're missing Mohamedou War, who filled in and has maybe been the best of the bunch at that position, playing out of position, to the point where Danny Stone was considering permanently making that a switch for Mohamedou War, and then he went down with an injury, so it was right back to square one. You and I chatting just week in, week out about the state of the league and the state of the conferences. I think there's a prevailing thought that with health, which is a big question, but with health, Orange County is a team that could be clear on top of the Western Conference as the season goes on. Problem is, health hasn't been there, though maybe a silver lining here. It looks like Duty is okay. Flashed a thumbs up the trainer over toward the bench. And he's making his way to the halfway line, Duty. See if he can continue on.
I think it's the inspiration of the DJ for me that has willed Grayson Duty into his next level of existence.
Still keeping an eye on the far side of the field. Trainer is putting him through some more paces with the earpiece in. Duty is ready to check back in. He's at the halfway line. See if he'll at least give this a go.
You talked about it earlier, the center back pairing of Garrison Tubbs and Tom Brewitt from Orange County. One of the things that Las Vegas has been very clear about right now is pressure up high. They are two of the most efficient on the team in balls over 30 yards. They can ping it with the best of them. I'd love to see them tackle that a bit further. And instead of allowing an Alex Rando trying to find someone in moments like that, let your two center backs dictate it. Draw that initial line of pressure in. Zip one up over the top. Let Hagar, Bazzini, McKinnon run underneath it. Worst case scenario, and you and I talk about this all the time, you could at least win some favors on the field position battle, which right now they are pinned in and having to do a lot of work off the ball. Reset your defensive line higher. Compress the field. Make it work in your favor.
Duty back out there. Keep an eye on him. Top of your screen. We're in the number 2 in blue. How he is moving around. If you're Las Vegas, try and test him. Alex Anderson has plenty of speed to burn on that far side. Make Duty work. Anderson, one of the spare parts, as North Carolina FC did not field the team this year. Their players free to go elsewhere. Alex Anderson had been there for 4 seasons. He's their all-time leading scorer at North Carolina. Went with them in their jump from League One to the championship. Now this year comes to Vegas, has 3 goals in 6 games. He is very gingerly walking, Grayson Duty. He just made a little bit of a sprint and pulled up. And I think he's gonna go down. He just made a signal to Garrison Tubbs that he's gonna go down, it looks like. Play continues for now. Hagar.
Nice ball.
Sends it through too long.
The idea of it anyway. Really liked the look there from Chris Hagar.
And Vegas isn't happy because Duty went down right as they rolled it out and went to go for their counterattack. You see the frustration as he pounds the ground. It gets to a point now for Danny Stone where you have to be wondering if you did something to tick off the soccer gods, because it feels week in, week out, somebody has something. This is where it all happened a few minutes ago, remember. That last step right there, and then he fell on his arm awkwardly, which was also ailing him, and the trainer looked at it right there. But it's the leg, the hip area, that's the concern. The referee, Gerald Flores, now sending everybody to the benches because this is where we were about to have the hydration break anyway. So the natural break in the action gives us the chance. They haven't made an official signal for Duty to be subbed off. But you saw it, he went down on his own, he pounds the ground. The trainer looking over to the sideline. If he has to come off for Orange County, the question then becomes, who? You're probably moving Nico Benalcazar back out to right back, where he's had to be deployed at times this season because of injury. And then it becomes a question of who do you want in the midfield in his spot.
Beyond thin at that point in time, and you can drop Stephen. You'd have to go to a more predictable double pivot. You can bring Palomino in. That would be the easy like for like, at least with experience.
Danny Stone made sure to give a big shout out to Efren Solis this week in our conversation. Oh, there he is. Efren Solis took off the penny. You thought they were young before, with Nicola Chota, the 19-year-old, making his first start this season tonight. Efren Solis has played 4 games and made 1 start. Just feel for Duty. He's been hurt already this season.
Well, the other thing on the back end of that is even leaning with a player like Solis, who at just 18 years of age has started to make a home nicely for himself in the midfield for Orange County. Palomino still coming back from injury. He was an assured Sharpie into the team sheet earlier on this season.
It does say a lot about Orange County and their player development program. We've seen plenty of players go on to Europe. Kobe Henry, and now most recently Pedro Guimaraes, who's on his way to Germany. They have Solis and Chota out there, two players who may be next in that line, in that pipeline. Remember, the lengthy stoppage here is because of the hydration break that the referee signaled for during the duty injury. So Efren Solis takes the field. It'll put Nicola Chota over at right back, and Nico Benalcazar will drop in at left back. They'll flip the outside backs just on a comfort level. Quickly taken. Referee gave the signal to play, and he wasn't in position yet, Chota. They exploited that, and they've earned their first corner of the match, Las Vegas. Team that's already dealt with injuries. There are currently 3 players on the field for Orange County in a spot that they were not in when this game began. Chota flipped sides. Solis came in as a sub, and Alcazar went to the back line. One player impacts 3 dominoes. Now a corner for the home side. Pinzon drops it in, headed clear by Tubbs, further away from Silla.
Substitution for Orange County in the 29th minute. Entering the match, number 25, Efren Solis. And exiting the match, number 2, Grayson Duty.
Pope. Ibarra, 27-year-old, has become a mainstay in this league now. Over 100 appearances between Pittsburgh, Rhode Island, Vegas. Part of a Players' Shield team, part of a finalist in Rhode Island. McKinnon lets it run by. Tomorrow at 5 Eastern, set sail with CBS Sports Network and get ready to witness thrills and spills in the most intense race on water with the Canada Sail Grand Prix.
I feel like that's perfect viewing on a Father's Day. Any plans, speaking of?
I will be attending a World Cup match, so that's my plan tomorrow. What about you? You're the dad here. You're asking me, I should be asking you.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be on a leash somewhere. I asked for 2 specific things tomorrow. Not to have to cook and ice cream.
Those feel like 2 very easy things to check off. Anderson.
Game you going to?
I will be at Uruguay, Cabo Verde, which all of a sudden is super interesting after Cabo Verde notched a tie against Spain. Connection to USL Championship is Cabo Verde, one of the 3 teams using the USL facility to train during the World Cup. They are occupying Tampa Bay's grounds. The teams being Australia on Oakland's grounds and U.S. men's national team on Orange County's grounds. So edge Orange County over Oakland. In the regular season, they beat them twice, and the team they're hosting beat the team Oakland's hosting. For a U.S. team that has plenty of ties to the USL, which we'll talk more about at halftime. On a night where Eloy Room of Curacao almost took down a Tim Howard record. 16 saves he had in that Belgium game. And 15 saves tonight, Eloy Room for Curacao in their 0-0 draw against Ecuador. It does set the record for a 90-minute match. Tim Howard went 120 in that Belgium game. To be fair, if they played 120 tonight, I don't think Ecuador was scoring, and I think Eloy Room might have had 20 saves. Ben Alcazar. Arteaga playing it through. Johnny Rodriguez to the end line. Nobody home in the middle. Cuts it back for Pinzon. Orange County works it clear. Kyle Scott dropping it in behind. Arteaga settles, bungling through. Flag stayed down, and Rando made the save.
That's an unreal run by Arteaga over the back shoulder. Ben Alcazar, as he rotated to this left back position.
Given away on the volley. Scott has it blocked out for a corner.
He's had some trouble with the movement in front of him, and smart by Arteaga. It's a bending run. Beautiful placement by Scott up over the top. The way that this checks right in front, and how good on the back end by the goalkeeper. I mean, that is game, set, match. Last second reaction by Alex Rando, just reaching that ball back behind him to eliminate the threat.
Zone goes short. The outswinging ball flicked toward goal, and it's Arteaga who at this point still cannot buy a goal. 11th appearance of the season, no goals yet. Part of that championship team with Phoenix in 2023, 17 goals the following season in 2024, which bested the 15 he had in that championship winning season. 9 last year, none this year. That great save by Rando, that miss hit there. Player of his caliber, once that first one goes in, you think more are coming, but when will the first one come?
Had an extended discussion with head coach of the Lights, Devin Rensing, earlier today, and his biggest concern wasn't that Arteaga was having trouble finishing. It was about the lack of production around him and not getting enough opportunities put in front of the striker. Certainly not the case tonight. That's one of those talking points, glass half full, when you walk into the dressing room, where you look at the player and say, hey, we've been able to provide. Now it's your turn. You start going through stretches where the numbers keep coming up plenty, and then he's not finishing, we'll have a discussion. But up until tonight, they've really struggled to be able to present any sort of positivity in front of goal for Arteaga.
Here's Ben Alcazar off the back line. Floats it toward McKinnon, swings and misses. Here at Cashman Field on the volley. I want to go back to that last flurry. Come back in a second. That chance again for McKinnon as he misses. But that last flurry on the other end for Las Vegas. You have the initial ball in behind Ben Alcazar. Off the ensuing ball out of the back, it was Chota who gave it away. So right there, those two players who switched positions because of the duty injury victimize leading the chances for Las Vegas. It's something that the Lights could continue to exploit. Two players now having to play in different spots than when they started this game.
The other side of that is, tactically, it's a 1v1 situation. Your two outside mids for Las Vegas Lights are jumping the routes a little bit, putting pressure on Chota and Ben Alcazar. Center backs haven't had enough time. Play direct, win the turnover, and then quick movement off the ball. So you do need better reactions overall from the Orange County defenders, but I'd still make the case that their decision-making on the ball is what's getting them in trouble.
Something else, too, with no disrespect to Efren Solis, who's on it now, the 18-year-old who is just starting a bright career. Nico Ben Alcazar gives you a great line-breaking ball into the midfield that we saw 2 times in the first 10 minutes, and you lose that now because he's forced to defend on the back line. Again, a team plagued by injuries. One more in duty. Now impacts 3 positions and completely changes the outlook tonight for Orange County. How will they adjust? How will Vegas punish them? Here's Chota out defending on Anderson. Cuts it underneath to Antonoglu. End line floated to the back post. Pope will get there and keep it alive. Pinzone curls one. Back post. It's Anderson! All he does is score. It's his 4th in 7 games.
Now the scout coming in on the night for Vegas. Really simple from head coach Devin Rensing. Use the energy of Pinzone down underneath to assist in defensive transitions. Being able to carve the opposition up with his vision. 40-yard ball opposite direction. Now you have to shift if you're Orange County. You don't get on the first one, slow reaction on the second. Stop me if you've heard that before. And then once again, the back post run Both marking backs for Orange County have had an absolute travesty of errors over the last couple of minutes, and this time, Anderson makes them pay. Beautiful timing, just powering right through the service to create the opener.
One of the interesting storylines this season was going to be some of those top players from North Carolina who were then sprinkled around the league after they did not field a team this season. A lot of key players spread to a lot of key situations, and you could make the case right now in the present situations of those players who have spread around the league that Alex Anderson might be the most vital to his team. A Las Vegas team that was sort of wayward and, yes, scoring in every game, but just about every game, 11 of 12, now 12 of 13. But can they take it up a notch? You did the breakdown, top of the broadcast, as we went ahead of the curve. It's been simpler, it's been more direct. He's a reason for that because of his speed, because of his ability in behind, and he can also do that in the air.
The malleability that could be for Las Vegas as well. So you look at the current iteration, right? They sit 4-4-2. They allow Pinzon on the right to pinch a little bit more to the interior and create numbers and build up play. All of a sudden, you become more comfortable defensively. The responsibility can rest more on the shoulders of Mark Ibarra. In that single pivot, you play 3 up high. Anderson can come not as deep to start, and instead, you give him more free-flowing runs on the front, which North Carolina FC, he was a number 9 anyway. I mean, he played in those center spots, dragging center backs with him. But if you're Rodriguez, you're Arteaga, you're Anderson, to the rich go the spoils. 3 very different players that actually carry a very similar profile and fulfilling different roles.
30-year-old now Anderson, player who was the USL League One Player of the Year nominee and a runner-up in the Golden Boot race when he was All-League First Team in 2023. Continued his scoring ways in the championship with North Carolina. He's continuing to score for his country, for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, has 27 goals and 53 caps. He has started and scored in St. Vincent and the Grenadines' last 5 games in a row. Dropped in on the free kick, Tubbs off frame. And remember, when the night started, it was Grayson Duty, a more veteran right back, defending Alex Anderson. Now it's Nicola Chota, who's making his first start of the season, going to flip out to that side after the Duty injury.
Ever since the injury to Duty, step slow. Really every single movement, any touch on the ball, both sides to be fair. You're just hoping right now, if you're wearing an Orange County uniform, you can get into the dressing room without conceding another, because there's no stretch of the imagination. It could be 3-0 right now. Rope.
McKinnon and Silla, 2v2. McKinnon goes the other way instead. Right into the legs of Antonoglu. Now the other way, Arteaga chasing after it. Cut off by Tubbs. Arteaga commits the foul.
Certainly felt like there was enough contact in the moment there for referee to blow the whistle. More concerning to me wasn't a slight infraction. He caught him right here on his foot. No.
It's that little nudge in the shoulder with full momentum that he falls down and makes more of a meal of it, but
where I was going though is that I'm less concerned with the coming to physically than the fact that if he wins that tackle, Johnny Rodriguez is all by him lonesome centrally again. Now, how is it possible on a simple ball like that that both strikers end up free? Now, credit to their movement, but still, in theory, on a long ball, you're 4v2. And that's favoring Orange County.
Chota to make amends for missing his mark on the goal the other end for Las Vegas. McKinnon whips it in. Hagar sneaks it through. Bazzini swiped at it. Out for a corner.
Hagar could have found still up. McKinnon could have dropped it over his shoulder. The man from Senegal, this touch right here, drop it there instead. And he tries to be fair, doesn't he? Coming back across, shoot on the Meg, and then Bazzini not able to repay the favor either.
Stephen Kelly from the corner. At the spot, it's Brewitt flicking it on. McKinnon just set up awkwardly for him. Shota lost it. They could be off to the races here. Nobody's back right now for Orange County. There's that lone midfielder, and Efren Solis bent through. Arteaga was waiting. Rando cut it off. I mentioned top of the broadcast that Vegas with a win could climb into 5th place tonight, pending other results. McKinnon muscles his way through. McKinnon! Answering back before halftime for Orange County.
This game turned upside down at a moment's notice, given how stretched it was. This is what happens for Las Vegas. Give them credit. They're willing to throw everything but the kitchen sink going forward. But defensive organization has troubled them all season long. Just an acreage of space here between the two center backs. No coverage on the outside. 3v2 going forward. Lovely ball by Stephen Kelly. All you're trying to do is dink this up over the top, let your attacker run up underneath it, and win his individual battle, and he does. Shoulder to shoulder by McKinnon. The belief that he will, that Orange County can, and faith restored just before halftime.
This team has had a knack for answering after falling behind. The last game, a 1-1 draw against New Mexico on the road. They went down 2 minutes in. Before that, a 3-2 win against Oakland that was back and forth. Every time Oakland scored, they answered right back and won that 3-2 on the Silla goal late. And McKinnon, 2024 League One Golden Boot winner and Player of the Year at the Greenville Triumph. 2024 season, he had 21 goals. If you add together the regular season, the USL Cup, and the playoffs.
Go back 15 minutes, by the way. Understanding at that point in time, the argument was more deep-lying in nature and coming from the center backs. Did we not ask for direct play? Did we not want to see Orange County at least test the shape of Las Vegas Lights? Play positive up over the top and see if you can make something out of it?
It was the number one thing you said in the open. It's a Vegas team that is putting things together. They're being buoyed right now with results based on the fact that they're consistently scoring in every game, 12 out of 13, but struggling defensively, and it's the attacking abilities that have maybe masked some of the defensive deficiencies. So on a night like this, test them. At some point, they may break and not just bend. And they break here before halftime to tie it at 1.
And that's the argument for Orange County, but we'll also go back to the initial conversation for Vegas coming into the game. I trust what this team can do going forward much more than their ability to prohibit the opponent from hitting the back of the net. Embrace what you are at the halfway point of the season, basically the halfway point, and dig in deeper to make yourself more efficient on the attacking side of the ball. Because again, you know they're going to concede, but we also know that this could be a 3-1 game, without a doubt, in favor of Las Vegas. So credit to Orange County for being able to withstand all of these chances. At times, to most of the fault by Vegas in their indecision or inefficiency in getting back to even.
Just before the goal was scored by Orange County, as the ball was played up over the top by Kelly, I was starting to say that Vegas is getting all the other results they need to go their way tonight, where they had a chance to climb into 5th, and they were in 5th in the live table at that moment. And then 2 seconds later, Orange County scored it. But a chance now with another goal to poke back up into 5th place from 9th through some climbing in a very tight Western Conference. On the other side, Orange County's scoring brings them into 1st place. Pin zone. That's not going to do it.
X8. Put one over the left field wall there.
Wicked ricochet all the way to Steinahar. Both keepers have made 2 saves in this half. 17 total shots. Just been opportunities at both ends. One apiece. Through 45 minutes. Whistle just seconds away. Is there one last chance for Vegas? Cleared by Ben Alcazar. Is there one last chance for Orange County now? Hagar racing ahead. Hagar. Silla. Usman Silla cutting in, goes down. Corner, will they be allowed to take it? 5 minutes have come and gone. Gerald Flores won't let him take it, but now we'll tack some more time on. Battle between Ray Jones, Garrison Tubbs. Sure, those two will go right back at it as soon as Gerald Flores turns his back. They battle again ahead of this corner. Right side of your screen. Well, they're attached again. Kelly wants to go short on the corner now. Marks off the paces again. Kelly at the back post. Her body's there. Is there a shove in the back from Arteaga? No. There's a whistle. Half number 1 comes to a close. 1-1 between Vegas and Orange County. Danny Stone wasn't happy. He felt there was a penalty there. Arteaga made it interesting. Orange County made this first half interesting. Olex Anderson gave the home side the lead in the 38th minute. Orange County hadn't been doing much really after the Grayson Duty injury. They've been on their heels. Sometimes direct play changes. That one ball over the top. Lion McKinnon does what he does and ties it in the 45th minute. A physical, entertaining end-to-end battle between Vegas and Orange County. When they played back in March on opening day, it finished 1-1. That's our scoreline here at the break. More to come from Cashman Field. You're watching the USL on CBS Sports, presented by Best Western. It's 1-1 at the break between Las Vegas Lights and Orange County. There's a lot more soccer going on right now in this country, and it's tied, very much so, to the USL Championship. Orange County has been sharing the facility with the U.S. men's national team. They've been calling a park in Orange County home during their stint in the World Cup. It's been a successful stint so far, and they're not the only team right now that is hosting a World Cup team. It's Orange County hosting the U.S., it's Oakland hosting Australia, it's Tampa Bay hosting Cape Verde, and we're happy to host you here on CBS Sports Network with Evan Kerr. I'm Joe Malfa. There's so much that we could talk about. The active players, it was 4, then it became 5 after an injury on the Haitian side, allowed Garvin Mishi-Matusalat to join as well. You've got players who are showing out. We touched on it in the first half. Eloy Room, 15 saves, most ever in a 90-minute game in the World Cup. He was 1 save away from Tim Howard's all-time record. Tim had an extra half an hour for that, but we won't discuss that. There's so many ways we could take this, the growth of the game, and USL Championship and League One's impact on it, it's very much present.
So you covered the facilities, right? You got a little bit into the field of play, but the facilities nationwide and how the USL Championship has been able to impact that. I look on the field. And if you dive into the lower levels, youth national team, nearly double digits, every single time international window opens up, that we see players coming out of the USL Championship going into camps. Then I start to move into the senior level. Well, currently, 11 players with championship experience on the United States men's national team roster representing this country at the World Cup. They've got back-to-back wins in the World Cup for the first time since 1930 and 6 points in group play. That's the most ever they've ever been able to pick up. And we still have a game to go. So we're a far cry from knowing what the rest of this tournament looks like, nor what a couple of years from now holds. The championship certainly holding its own on the global stage.
Yeah, so much grew after the '94 World Cup. We're excited to see what comes next. And we know that USL has a very big role to play in all of that. Alex Anderson had a big role in that first half. He gave Vegas the lead. Lion McKinnon tied it up. We'll look back at highlights when we return. 6 on target, end-to-end action. It was Vegas who struck first, but it was Orange County who had the early opportunities.
Quick start, exactly what we wanted from Orange County on the road and from the man that we wanted and pinpointed at the highlight of the show, Usman Silla. Very dangerous in the opening 15 minutes. Should have trusted himself, being selfish on the right foot. Instead, the cutback across doesn't have clean contact. He faded from the game for about 20 minutes, and that's because of the pressure that Las Vegas was willing to commit due to numbers up high. Constantly creating turnovers, personnel, and advanced positions, but they really struggled to be effective 20 yards and in. Second, third chance opportunities constantly being thrown over at Orange County, and finally got their breakthrough courtesy of Alex Anderson. Just come back into the lineup due to availability issues. Creates the game opener against Orange County. And they basically controlled it until just before halftime. 30-minute mark. Be direct. Be less predictable. Play this ball over the top. Reset your defensive positioning. And then go and attack downhill. Well, it took 15 minutes to get there. But Liam McKinnon grabbed the equalizer just before the dressing room and restored faith for the visitors.
Anything stick out to you so far in the stats? I mean, possessions going Vegas' way. It just felt end-to-end fun so far.
If you're Devin Rensing, head coach of Las Vegas Lights, you're going to walk into the dressing room and say, not only should we not have given up a goal, we should have scored 3. And that has been the story for this team all season, just being better 20 yards and in. For Orange County, they need to be a step quicker in the second half if they want to make sure they don't concede another to Las Vegas.
The opener to... Travel map brought to you by Best Western. It's Alex Anderson. He has been blazing a trail down that left side.
He's the best player on the field for the Las Vegas Lights on the attacking end because of his aggression, yes. But it's what his speed does for everybody else around him. Starting to play him high, allowing him to run at back lines. His confidence is contagious because it frees up space for other players. All of a sudden, the midfield can become more demanding of the ball. The front line become more adventurous with their runs. One single player affecting every single line of this attack.
Alex Anderson, again, 30 years of age. First time that he's had to get used to new surroundings in a while. Spent the last 4 years at North Carolina. Was out of the game for a couple of years after 2016 because of an injury. Worked his way back to full health, to full fitness. After starting his career with the Seattle Sounders in MLS. Vegas right to left in the burgundy. Orange County left to right in the blue. And away we go in half number 2. Alongside the ex-Sherman pro Devin Kerr, I'm Joe Malfa. Happy to have you with us late night on CBS Sports Network. Busy day of action around USL, not just in the championship, a couple of USL Cup matches today. For 2 cup matches, not a goal. 0-0 between Detroit City and Louisville City, 0-0 between Lexington and Indy. We'll have more cup action coming your way in the coming weeks, culminating in the last day of group play on July 11th. Elsewhere right now in the Western Conference, the Oakland Roots just took a 1-0 lead on Phoenix Rising. Keep you abreast of anything that impacts these 2 teams in the standings. Right now, Orange County doesn't have to worry about anybody else. They're playing the game they had in hand on San Antonio. A draw or a win tonight for Orange County would see them end the week in first place in the Western Conference. Silla springing McKinnon. Is it too much? Will he get there? Steinahar off his line. One box to the other. The end-to-end nature of the end of that first half seems like it's carrying over into the second. Silla lays it off.
And making sure you're releasing Stephen Kelly much higher than we saw at the tail end of the first half to allow Ousmane Silla to roam more freely underneath that front line. Very important, especially with Mark Ibarra, who basically became Silla's shadow towards the tail end of the first half. Defensively had it locked down, nicely done.
Showtap. Well, the 19-year-old weaving his way through, lays it off behind Silla.
He hit it.
Is that a player who's making his first start this season, is 19 years of age, just feel like he has to defer to the veterans, or what's going through his mind there?
That's certainly a young mistake, but I would urge young players at home where, yeah, you want to keep the game clean, make simple decisions overall. When you're that high up the field, that's where you want to try stuff. If you're going to make a mistake, do it on that end of the field. Solid 5-yard buffer to be able to just put your head down, laces right through it, and put one on target.
McKinnon for Silla. This is where he can go. Ousmane Silla, might be a yellow card here against Las Vegas. Sometimes that's what it takes to slow down Ousmane Silla. Cards in hand for Gerald Flores. He's calling over Kyle Scott.
Certainly that's what you want if you're Danny Stone, manager of Orange County. Just driving right back through the heart of this midfield with Ousmane Silla.
Originally he was beckoning over Kyle Scott, but you see there it was Antonoglu who picks up the yellow. Got the right identity in the end. And behind McKinnon, offside. It's a matchup to watch now, McKinnon attacking Antonoglu, who's on a yellow card and has to be super careful.
It's still too slow though, and if you're Antonoglu with the diagonal coming back over the top on McKinnon, you have the ability to set yourself. That ball has to be much quicker into the midfield for Orange County. Give yourself the ability to break lines at a much more rapid pace than what we've seen. And defensively, very even killed for the Lights over the course of the night. Outside of the one counter-attacking option that ended up in the equalizer, it's been pretty quiet.
I mentioned that Oakland Roots goal over Phoenix Rising a moment ago because it sets us up with 3 teams right now atop the West, all on 21 points each. As we approach the midpoint of this season, you touched on it off the top, I don't recall a tighter conference battle than we have right now. Every goal changing the equation, everything mattering seemingly that much more. It's McKinnon powering his way through again. Just feels like every time he gets it and goes, something may happen. It's important to note as we are approaching the halfway mark, the tie-breaking situation has shifted this year. It's been a topic of conversation at the World Cup. That head-to-head is now the tiebreaker in group play. A change in USL Championship as well. The first tiebreaker is total wins against conference opponents, so most wins in conference. So right now, still would be Orange County in first, followed by Oakland and San Antonio, all on 21 points each. These are going to get interesting as things go on.
I do appreciate you, with most teams having 20 games to go, bringing that very notable point up to our attention.
It's a weird spot that we're in as Hal Scott goes down. We're about the halfway point of the calendar. I think this is what you were alluding to in the first half. We're at about the halfway point of the calendar, but to this point in the season, we've had USL Cup, we've had Open Cup, so there have been fewer regular season games in the first half of the calendar. Now the back half of the calendar will become all about the regular season, so it's about that time that coaches start talking about it to us. It's about the time that we start talking about it a bit more, because it gets up on you quick. It's crazy to say we're 10 days away from the end of June, and then it's all downhill from there.
Overall, with the fixture congestion, most teams have played at least 18 games. 2 to 3 in Brinks Tires Cup, 1 or so.
Oh, the flag stayed down. Pinzone was denied by Rando. That Orange County back line is stunned.
That's a tough angle to tell exactly when the ball is hit and whether or not Pinzone was in an offside position. Clever by Scott to just pick him out. Way too high either way for Garrison Tubbs. And again, no VAR in championship play. You can't tell from that replay whether or not he had stepped into an offside position.
Corner swung in near post for Alexanderson. Scott offs it back wide. Antonoglu. Pinzone turns. Rando has it. Chota. Stays in on that left side, but Alcazar
Take your time.
still up. Lengthier spell of possession for Orange County. They only saw 45% of the ball in the first half. Chota misread the bounce and then slipped. And then compounds it by committing the foul. In zone, feeds the overlap of Blake Pope down that right side. Scott looks up the head, finds Alexanderson, who has Vegas's goal. Overlap from Antonoglu. Anderson delivers instead. Let's take a look at the Best Western upcoming schedule. Coming up on Wednesday night, Colorado Springs and San Antonio. Got Spokane Velocity and Forward Madison in USL League One on July 1st. And the next day, AC Boise and One Knox on ESPN2 also in League One. You and I next Wednesday will have Colorado Springs, San Antonio. Switchbacks team that is surging, a San Antonio team that may not be in first place anymore. Time for that game on Wednesday, depending on what Orange County does here. Awkward. Lost. Oh, the net's empty. It's rolled in. Disaster for Las Vegas. A gift for Yannick Bizzini. And a lead for Orange County.
Once again, when it's a difficult night, sometimes the most effective routes are the easiest paths that can be taken. Direct again, not that dissimilar from the ball that we saw in the first half to McKinnon, but this time, horrific decision-making on the back line. Steidehar coming out to pick it up with his feet. Guillen, other ideas, neither communicating appropriately, and instead, an absolute cluster that opens up the go-ahead for Orange County. A tap-in for Bizzini, and the visitors fully confident that there's more to come.
I suppose it's as simple as 50-50, but is the blame more on Guillen or Steidehar in that moment? You could see Guillen's frame of mind. He was trying to head it back, but at that point, Steidehar's momentum was already taking him out of the box.
I was a very vocal center back that led a lot by example and even more with my mouth. But I am always of the belief that the goalkeeper gets the last laugh. He is the one who commands everything. He's got the best view, will always have the last say, because his decision should reign supreme above all. And for a defender that is tracking back, his back itself is against the run of play. Aaron Guillen cannot see behind him. Trust your goalkeeper and whatever decision he's going to make. If Steidehar steps out there and doesn't get a proper footing on it, that's a different conversation. But I'm leaving it to my goalkeeper to put me in a good position to succeed.
Guillen. Montenoglu. Corner for Vegas, who don't have to respond.
Light him up! Light him up! Light him up! Light him up! Light him up!
Brando trying to navigate through, he misread it. Jones had an empty net, but couldn't direct it. Goal kick. A let-off for Orange County. Elvis might have left the building. Pink Llama Elvis has entered the building. There's so much you can get away with in a mascot costume. So much.
I wasn't aware that the unspoken rule that they couldn't speak was a thing until about 3 years ago. Didn't know.
You learned it, and then I learned it the hard way because we had pitched something one time, and that was the reason it got shot down. I think you would probably check the box for the size to wear that one.
Yeah.
I think I'm too short for that.
I would be excommunicated from the mascot fraternity quickly, given the dialect that would ensue.
I mean, you could stack two of me in there.
3. Nice turn.
Usman Silla out to Hagart. Silla wants it back. Hagart drops it back instead, but Alcazar. Chotap hits it this time, blocked. Earlier in this half, he bypassed. This time, called his own number. Penny for the thought of Devin Rensing. His team has been improving. It's growing and moving in the right direction. He took over toward the last third or so of last season. Similar story to Dominic Casciato in Tampa Bay. He came in, but not as the interim, as the hired new head coach with some runway left last season. It was an idea from Tampa Bay and then Las Vegas to allow your coach to evaluate the players, start looking to the next season, figure out who needs to go, who could stay. Vegas kept more players than Tampa Bay did. Dominic Casciato decided they needed wholesale changes. Devin Rensing in our conversation this week said they needed to change a lot, but they did keep more of the spine of the roster intact. Rodriguez a part of that. They added Arteaga. Still hasn't scored though. Early this season, results were poor for Vegas. They've improved, again, to the point that with a win tonight, they would have been all the way up into 5th. Tonight, though, where they had a home lead, now an hour gone, half hour to go, they stare up at a deficit. McKinnon fighting a way through. Still Lyon. McKinnon!
It's like watching a young colt trying to figure out his footing on the near touchline. Ryan McKinnon, once he finally did get out the way. Love this little cutback to the inside. Negative touch against the grain, and now all of a sudden, defenders on the retreat. Having to move laterally and then step up into the pocket, one of the more difficult things to do because it always favors the attacker. His momentum will trump your ability to get up to speed, just based upon him making the first move. But on the back end of it, as you're moving away, so is your form. That's why the ball pops up over the ball.
It's Olex Anderson right now, who's down for Las Vegas. It's the shoulder they're working on.
It was weird too because it didn't seem like there was anything in the 1v1 duel on the near touchline with Liam McKinnon on the previous sequence. Just above that collarbone. That's where he's motioning to the trainer.
If he can't continue, you think maybe. And Abraham Ochere has got 3 goals and 10 appearances this season. Keep an eye on Anderson. Surely they'd like to just have him right back out there. He looks to still be in some discomfort. Well, they are going to lift him. They just held it up on the board. Ben Mines took his spot. So Olex Anderson's night is done. Well, a seemingly innocuous play. Ben Mines, a familiar face for Orange County. He was part of their title-winning team in 2021. Joined in August of that year for the stretch run at 3 goals and an assist in 11 games. Key to putting a star above Orange County's crest. On the other side with Las Vegas.
And exiting the match with a goal on the board, Olex
Last year with Loudon, Ben Mines, one of the most lethal coming off the bench, leading in joint goal contributions and supporting cast role, quickly becoming acclimatized to his surroundings. I like him better on the right, which is smart. They've moved Pinzon over to the left, and just keep an eye there. As restricted as Chota has been on this right flank for Orange County because of his defensive duties against Olex Anderson, can he influence the game a bit higher? Something very important for Danny Stone to be able to utilize his marking backs and build up play, moments like this, create link-ups with the midfielders, and that had been removed because of his job against Olex Anderson. Now a bit more freedom.
Zone, almost got there. Well done by Chota. He shook off the mistake he made on Vegas's goal. 2 mistakes on the one play, compounded. Hagart takes it wide. Hagart. Feels like Orange County is leaving a lot of meat on the bone in some of these attacks.
You can see that ball coming from a mile away. McKinnon pulled out of the run, though.
Always something going on in Vegas. Worked through by Ben Mines, his first involvement since subbing on for the injured Anderson. Mines, Pope, through, was looking for Arteaga. Now it's Mines, flag stays down, Mines to the back post. Pinzon settles. Christian Pinzon keeps his footing after he staggers. Tanoglu and line. Lofts one up to the clouds, slows in front. Johnny Rodriguez, Johnny on the spot, ties it at 2.
Yeah, beautiful on the far touchline. Quickly moving from one end to another. Thanks for coming. The Meg by Mines, but it's this ball that comes down to the byline that allows Las Vegas to stay in it. Pinzon, good vision. The explosion here, 1-2. As an overlapping run, you dink this under, so difficult to defend if you're an Orange County defender. It's up over your shoulder. You got to track it across goal, back over your shoulder, near impossible. Johnny Rodriguez sees it. And an absolute tear to the 2026 season continues. Now 8 goals and an assist in 12 matches. A personal best for the light striker.
You see, we had the question a moment ago what those fireworks might have been for. Always something going on in Vegas. I think that person just knew that Johnny was going to score. He was ahead of the game, ahead of the curve, if you will. Free kick coming for Orange County. It's their turn to respond. They've already responded once tonight. Within 7 minutes after Vegas scored the first goal, Orange County struck on the free kick. Offside. Johnny Rodriguez has been one of the more interesting players to track through his time in USL Championship. He was one of the very few holdovers for the Oakland Roots in their roster when they moved from NISA into the USL Championship. Wholesale changes stepped up a massive level, but they kept him because they felt that there was something there. And his time with the Roots very quickly became clear he was a player. And he was somebody that was adapting to the new level. A couple of double-digit goal-scoring seasons for the Roots, 12 in 2023, 12 in 2024. It was a bit surprising they let him go at the end of 24, but it was an offer they couldn't refuse from Vegas. Sent him on his way. Last year, early on, never felt like it was clicking, and there were some rumblings that, hey, maybe he would go back. It's just one of those moves that we've seen time and again. Somebody leaves, it's a different situation. They're better off just going back where they came from. But then it clicked as the season went on. He ended up with 9 goals. And as you mentioned, now 8 this season already. If you would have put him in a lineup of players around his age in the championship at the time and asked which one would be most successful and who would have the most double-digit goal-scoring seasons, he probably would have been last in any ranking of players you would have asked.
And depending on who the personnel are around him, I would agree with you. And certainly anybody that scores 58 goals at any level in collegiate play is worth a look.
Might have another look here, headed away by Tubbs.
One of the difficulties about pinpointing where you're going to find success with Johnny Rodriguez is he doesn't really carry an out-and-out position on the field. You can play him at the 9, but He's not a prototypical 9 because of the way that he flows off the ball.
Arteaga is, and it's off the post. There's your prototypical 9 as he looks to the heavens, still wondering what he has to do. Now 11 games, no goal. What does he have to do? 3 times tonight, improbably, he hasn't scored.
Beautiful movement, and at some point in time he will find the breakthrough, but the adjustment midair, contorting his body as he drops down. I mean, just unreal work rate and the physicality behind it to be able to get himself into that position. Wild to think that he still hasn't broken through.
And now 2 changes for Orange County. They'll bring on Jameer Johnson for Chris Hagart and Tyson Espy for Nicola Chota. Orange County might be one of the only teams in the league that could sub off a 19-year-old and bring down the average age of the team out there on the field as they replace him with a 17-year-old Tyson Espy. And the 17-year-old Jameer Johnson replaces the 24-year-old Chris Hagart. You alluded to it earlier in the first half. Pedro Guimaraes, who's on his way to Europe. Talked about Kobe Henry in the past, the pipeline from Orange County to Europe. As you talk to Danny Stone and people around the club, it's Tyson Espy that they have circled as the next guy in that line. Makes his 8th appearance here this season. 3 appearances for the U17s of the United States and CONCACAF qualifying back in February. To your point at halftime about all the players popping up in youth national teams for the U.S. here in USL Championship, Espy is very much being talked about.
It is one of the good things if you're Danny Stone that you have the ability to turn to the youngster in time of need, not this match, but because of injuries. Espy primarily a center back utilized on this right-hand side, stuck behind what has been pretty decent form, and their captain Tom Brewitt certainly couldn't play behind Garrison Tubbs either, given the duo that has been near perfect between their interactions together in an Orange County uniform.
Danger here, Pinzone. McKinnon, can they break? Kelly, let's went over the top looking for Pizzini. Ibarra, good step from Efren Solis.
It's really difficult to make any sort of tactical adjustments within the game, given how open it is.
Life stayed down here. Johnny Rodriguez past the far post. A late arriving flag negated it.
And that's not to say it's a wide open fair back and forth. There's just lack of pressure on the ball right now. Some of the ball carriers themselves, easy to make simple decisions. All the space that's available made the game a bit faster. I'm just surprised we haven't seen either team physically become more demanding on the defensive side of the ball.
It's not going to be the same exact result as when these teams met to open the season 1-1 back on March 7th. Could still be a draw, just with a couple extra goals in it. 0 still with over a quarter of an hour remaining. Silla turns to the end line. Being dragged down, keeps it in place. Silla sits down the goalkeeper, Steinhardt. Couldn't do anything with it, though, in the end from that extreme angle. Just waiting for something magical to happen anytime he decides to put his head down and go. McKinnon goes for a goal. McKinnon denied by Steinhardt. Out for a corner.
Usman Silla showing why he can take over a match in a moment's notice. Look at the change of pace, dropping that shoulder. Wanted to cut it back. Espy had moved away. He's got to drive atop the six there. Tyson Espy give Usman Silla something to think about. And on the back end of it, this is why you go get Mason Steinhardt. Unload from RSL.
Corner dropped in, falls for McKinnon, bounding around. No mistake made in the end by Garrison Tubbs. Orange County back on top once again.
That's not on the goalkeeper. Improper marking once again has shown up for the Lights on the quick move set piece from the corner. It's not a bad ball, but you've got to power through that if you're being zoned. Instead, he's kept on the deck. McKinnon allows this play to stay alive, and the second chance opportunity, Tubbs, who has to work back against the grain to be able to get something out of it. Nate Jones stops tracking. Center back versus center back. And one of the best center backs in the country at the D1 level just a few short years ago has put his team ahead, scoring for the first time in an Orange County uniform.
Into the hydration break now in this second half. Garrison Tubbs, it's not the one you'd expect. Sometimes you just gotta get it done any way you need to. Something else you alluded to in the first half, just finding a way, especially with all the injuries they've had to endure, Orange County. And not just the players missing, but the choppiness that creates and the lack of continuity that stems from that for a team that has only lost twice this season and right now sits in first place in the live standings on 23 points. Find a way. Garrison Tubbs did.
It's crazy how different the narrative is than just a half hour ago, starting the second half. Well, some momentum, certainly confidence, I should say, have been restored for Orange County. First half, majority of it anyway, ruled by the home team in the Las Vegas Lights. Way more threatening, more control defensively. Didn't really concede a ton of space, and as we've alluded to multiple times, could have been 3-0 going into the dressing room.
Could be 3-3 here, fed in front, Arteaga. Couldn't get a piece of it. Antonoglu. Arteaga keeps it alive. Chaotic half continues. Oh, Silla took the studs to the thigh. Ibarra, it's a foul, but I don't think any card is coming here. At least that's not the indication from Gerald Flores, unless he's thinking about what color it might be, because the studs were up and the boot was high.
I'm not sure what the argument was from Mark Ibarra here. He does a really good job to close down space, but then the illusion artist, that is Usman Silla. I don't mind if you do.
Oh.
I mean, those studs are really high. And he's trying to make a play on the ball, to be fair, but still. Oh, I mean, I've seen red issued for less.
Somewhere out there in the ether, Frankie de Jong is
Yeah.
smiling.
How's it not a card at all? That's my question.
Yeah, I have the same question. And again, no VAR part of the equation here in the championship. And Las Vegas subbing off Mark Ibarra before Gerald Flores could change his mind.
Substitution for your Las Vegas
He's replaced by
Lights
Giorgio Probo.
entering the match number 27, Giorgio Probo. And entering the match number 23, Mark Ibarra.
The idea of bringing Probo into this game for Las Vegas Lights by head coach Devin Rensing. More control on the inside. Again, Mark Ibarra really good with the ball at his feet and tracking on the defensive side of the ball. And Probo does give you more reach. As they play through him, he'll then look to play over. He's way more direct in his combination in long distance than really any midfielder on the pitch for the Lights.
Minutes remaining, you wonder what the next twist in the tail might be. It's not the only chaotic second half going on right now. Earlier updating you on that Oakland Roots Phoenix Rising game that was once 1-0 in the 49th minute is now 4-2 Oakland. So that one has this game beat by a goal. Kelly. Kelly, a quick ball through. Bazzini off the chest. Bazzini cuts it back for Silla, some space. Usman Silla fires it back post. The volley's there. It's wrong side of the post. It remains 3-2. It's a chance to put it away.
This kid's special. Truly, if he had a supporting cast that carried a bit more quality. The first touch is one thing. His second to be 5 yards out, near perfect, all the way to the end line, and then the cutback. Hard to write some of the storylines of quality that Usman Silla is putting out in front of you right now.
Kelly just kicks it as far as he can. Defensive mode now for Orange County, perhaps. In a game that has seen 30 combined shots, 11 on target, 5 goals. Arteaga. It was a half-hearted plea for a penalty, even by his standards.
One thing I haven't liked in the second half is the change came bringing Ben Mines on. And Pinzon has primarily reserved himself to playing as another midfielder for the Lights. So within that, you put more emphasis on Antonogo getting forward. Okay, you can make that argument. But it's still more of a build three mentality. Blake Probe's not releasing as high or as frequent on that right-hand flank, so a bit more predictable overall. Back to front for the Lights.
Jameer Johnson commits the foul. Left foot of Temi Antonoglu is what you might expect here, the in-swinger, but Christian Pinzon, the captain, stands over it with him. Antonoglu back in his time in Toronto and in the Canadian Premier League has a knack for this type of service here. Whips it in.
I mean, right on cue. I promise you, people at home can't see it. I was getting my phone for the QR code because I would dominate a Capriati sub right now.
It didn't work for me. I tried.
My counterpart in the booth is taking the initiative.
If anybody at home wants to try, it's about to end up appearing in the bottom left of your screen. Quick throw in taken by Las Vegas.
Ooh.
Cut back for Scott. Probo cuts one through the air, and it's snatched by Alex Rando.
McKinnon took an elbow there from Aaron Guillen, and a little friendly fire coming across the 18. And the lines of confrontation are just nowhere to exist for either one of these squads.
Midfield is optional. And the numbers back that up, especially on the Vegas side. Would you venture a guess, if you're not looking at it in front of you, which I don't think you are,
Not.
how many final third entries Las Vegas has in this game? Arteaga's offside, goes for a goal. He finally found that, but it won't count.
North of 50.
North of 80.
Wow. Okay.
82 final third entries for Las Vegas, to your point about the lines of confrontation. It's only 29 for Orange County.
It feels like every single ball in the second half for Vegas is 30 yards, go, 30 yards, go. Don't win the first one, cut back, recycle into the box, and go again.
It's interesting. Ethan Zubak coming on for Unit Bizzini. In our conversation with Danny Stone, just reading between the lines, it felt like Zubak was close and he was going to be available, but just the tone of his voice and the way he was talking about it, it didn't seem like he wanted to use Zubak quite yet. It's interesting to bring him into a game where they have a lead up top here, 3-2. Big in the air, can help defensively, can give you a fresh spark if you want to find that insurance goal. Something to be said about the efficiency of the attacks on either side. For those 82 final third entries for Vegas, they only have 24 touches in the 18-yard box of Orange County. On the flip side of that, Orange County 30 final third entries, 29 box touches. Almost a 1-to-1 ratio for Orange County, whereas it's about 25% for Las Vegas. Driven ball through, a wide angle. Pinzone keeps it alive on the volley. Oh, I'm curious where that would have ended up from Johnny Rodriguez. He struck it well. Ended up in the midsection of Solis, who is still trying to shake it off.
Oh, well.
Walk it off, buddy. Walk it off.
At least that's over.
I don't think it's over for him. Mines deflected, the header toward goal, but right at Alex Rando. Cubs right now the author of the winning goal if this holds. Arteaga. And back the other way for Orange County. And a card out of the pocket. Solis in the face of Scott.
What's interesting here is the referee blew the whistle and points the other way. Kyle Scott had an infraction behind the scenes. Did he give him the card?
You're saying an infraction on Scott for the foul and then for the extras would be a send-off. It looks like just the one.
Kyle Scott.
To be fair, Solis started that. Scott made sure to finish it. So that foul is what you're saying might have been the initial yellow. Looks like Gerald Flores let the initial foul go without a yellow and just gave it to him for the coming together at the end. Vegas could be very lucky these last few minutes, going all the way back first to the challenge from Mark Ibarra. That was uncarded and then only getting the one yellow there on Scott. 89th minute now, Vegas looking for a leveler. Pope driving, goes down easy. Antonoglu. In behind for Arteaga, flag stayed down. Arteaga cuts it in front. Johnny Rodriguez stumbling, goes down, loose still, it's over the bar. Ben Mines misses a wide open net. It was a bouncing ball, but another chance for Vegas. Ben Mines is going to think about this one all night long. Against his former team, rush of blood to the head. Five minutes of stoppage time.
The fourth official has indicated that a minimum of 5 minutes will be added to the second half. It's time for the Premier Power Minute. So get on your feet and make some noise!
Zone just trying to walk it off gingerly.
I think he got the same reality check that took place just moments ago atop the 18. Pocket picked.
Solis. Still going, Efren Solis. Cuts it back, has options. Looking for Kelly, wrong ball. Antonoglu. This game continues to be stretched to the max. Mines. Arteaga dummies it through. Pinzone saved! Rebound, Pinzone saved! Again off the bar!
Allowing Pinzone to operate down underneath. Face forward, everything from head coach Devin Rensing. Really good run. To be fair, he's inverted to start, but then following up with the players in front. The second, the third effort. The last one just a toe poke to try and get anything on it. Unreal from Alex Rando. Watch his feet shift side to side. Great reaction in the moment. Proper technique immediately. Back up onto his heels. And then as he's recovering, just brute force to keep the third opportunity out.
There's a quote earlier this season from Danny Stone. In the first few weeks, there weren't many moments for Alex Rando. They just wasn't seeing many shots. The back line was doing its job. Then there came a stretch where he was making mistakes. He cost them a couple of games on just calamitous blunders. And he said he was going to stick with him because he knew what he was capable of. He knows the level that Alex Rando can get to and the way that he could bail out his back line. This is what he was talking about. There's a couple of mistakes from the early season, playing the ball out of the back. One time came off his line, misread it, conceded a penalty. That's what he can bring you. Preserving for now all 3 points for Orange County. Probo. Guillen. Halfway through stoppage time. Scott's got to be careful. He just picked up that yellow moments ago. Game of soccer tennis is broken out. Settled now by McKinnon. Ben Alcazar. One more minute for Las Vegas. Up, back, and through. Pope. He's going to get there. The run's coming in the middle. Pope. Smokes one. Zone has to track it down. Drops it back for Antonoglu. Antonoglu, Christian Pinzone. Cut back, Rodriguez lurking. It'll be a corner. Taken quickly. And Tenoglu drives it in. Rodriguez was there again. Didn't make it to its intended target. 40 seconds remaining. Shot for handball there. Not given. Pope. Scott. Pope. Drops it in again. Tubbs rises to meet it. Not out of the woods yet. Cleared out toward midfield, but picked up by Jones. Pope swings it in. Solis heads it clear. One last roll of the dice for Las Vegas. Zubak couldn't do it. Deflected off of Zubak as Rodriguez hit it square. Orange County bench is begging for a whistle. 5 minutes have come and gone. Throw taken quickly. Pinzone curls one more in. Rando punches away. All eyes on Gerald Flores. Kelly still with it. Final whistle goes. Orange County came from behind to earn all 3 points on the road. And at the end of the night, they will sit in first place in the Western Conference of the USL Championship.
Tonight's final score, Orange County SC 3 and your Las Vegas Lights 2. Join us back here at Cashman Field on Saturday.
Wild one in Vegas. Anderson started it. Orange County took a lead. Rodriguez responded. Tubbs won it. Mark of a team that has championship aspirations, finding ways in games like this on the road amid all the injuries. Orange County did just that. We're back in a moment to wrap things up from Cashman Field, where it finishes Orange County 3, Las Vegas Lights 2. Another night of the USL on CBS Sports presented by Best Western. Another fun one delivered. It finishes 3-2 in favor of Orange County. A goal fest broke out in this second half. It just felt like every time one of these teams took the ball, we condensed the highlights down just to the goals and a couple of crazy saves. Could have been a 5-minute highlight package.
The overall run of play controlled in the first half by Las Vegas Lights, and specifically in transition. Now, they struggled in first chance opportunities, but as the half went on, much better overall at not just the commitment of numbers going forward, but their ability to keep them organized. And I love the delayed run here from Olex Anderson. Two looks between Arteaga and Johnny Rodriguez, and instead you go back post from the winger, 1-0 after 38 minutes of play, and an answer just before halftime. Attacking-wise, Orange County was abysmal. Couldn't make a decision to save their lives, and instead simplified the game. Route 1 in the 45th minute. Liam McKinnon, 1-1, even heading into the dressing room.
That's where things unraveled. And it really started here. Guillen, miscommunication with Steidar. Yannick Bazzini says thank you.
Horrific for a back line that really hadn't given up anything all game long. It was the beginning of the end where you expect your goalkeeper in the moment to come out, take command. Instead, center back gets him in trouble. But once again, we would get a response. Johnny Rodriguez just sits idly by right atop the six. Knows exactly when to step and where. When it doesn't come his way, makes himself available. Remains dangerous. An asset always and forever in a Lights uniform. Johnny Rodriguez grabs the equalizer for the Lights. And they're off and running, right? Wrong. Because this entire second half was back and forth. End-to-end stuff from both of these teams. But of course, it's a set piece from the center back Garrison Tubbs in the 76th minute that would end up being the game winner. Now, there was a flurry towards the tail end of things. Incredible goalkeeping displays on both ends. Steidar had a couple saves, but Alex Rando on his head all night long, including at the death, to salvage 3 points for Orange County and go to the #1 spot in the Western Conference.
If you liked offensive football, tonight was your night. If you like Arsenal, tonight was not your night. 35 shots, 14 on target, 24 shots in the box. This was an enjoyable evening for those who enjoy the game.
Devin Rensing's going to walk into the dressing room and think about what could have been. We spoke about it throughout the entirety of the night. Should have been 3-0 at half. They didn't take advantage of their opportunities. They allowed Orange County to stay relevant within the game. And though Orange County didn't get to play the game they wanted to at the beginning, they stayed patient. They chose their moments wisely. They were able to retain relevance within a game and then got on it, killed it by possession, took full advantage of any space that was given to them, not just from the game winner. They managed this match better towards the tail end than Las Vegas Lights did.
Oh, with all the injuries and adversity, if you would have told Danny Stone before the season started that now near the midpoint after 13 games played, his team would be in first place, might have snapped your hand off. But that's where Orange County is after tonight's win. First place in the Western Conference. We're back on CBS Sports Network next on Wednesday, July 1st for Spokane against Madison. For Devin Kerr and our entire crew, I am Joe Malva saying so long for now. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.